pulled out this old video from my archives. You should watch it.
The reason a lot of people struggle is that many people haven't actually told themselves clearly the idea of what life should be for them. If you know in advance what you're expecting from someone and when you're going into something, like if you're going into a meeting and you know exactly what you're going in there to ask for, you will be better placed and you'll be better positioned to make sure that you get what you want. But when you haven't really thought it through and you're saying, let's just see what things look like and see what happens, and then I'll adjust, you're going to go in with a very different attitude from when you're going into that meeting, knowing that you're going there to ask for, say, 100,000. That's very different from someone who is going in and saying, let me just see how much they will present, and then I can decide what I'll say in response. So this is exactly what happens when we're getting into a relationship. A lot of us haven't realized that we can decide what our relationship is going to be. We can decide what our life is going to look like. But we have taken that power in our life and given it into the hands of other people. I can say to you directly that I will never be in a relationship that looks this way or that way. And someone argued with me. Her argument was, but you don't know who that person is. You don't know what the person is going to be like. You don't know what the relationship is going to look like. And I think that that is absolutely nonsense, because that is you deciding that things are going to turn out the way they turn out depending on who that person is. Well, then what happens to who I am? What happens to who I am? So it doesn't matter who that person is. Do you understand? Because it's like, you just take the power from yourself and give it to someone else. And now everything depends on who that person is and who they're going to turn out to be in the relationship, which makes no sense. Because how come it depends on who they are? So who I am is nothing? So do you see my point? So if you don't know who you are, then anybody can walk into your life and create any type of relationship with you. So you have to know who you are. And that's why I say that a lot of us are not mature and we're not ripe enough to get into relationships. But we do. This is it. Because if you're ripe for relationships, first of all, you're going to know who you are, and you're going to know what it is that you want in your life and what works in your life and what doesn't work in your life. It's not going to be dependent on someone else. So that the moment that someone comes into your life and they begin to display something that is against what you stand for and what you really know that you want or don't want in your life, then you will take a stand. You're going to put a stop to what you don't like because you already know that this isn't going to work for you. But when you don't define things and you get into the relationship or that meeting, then you're going to be like grass blowing in the wind, and whatever wind blows is going to blow you to whatever side. And then you're going to start grappling with anything that is thrown at you. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. So first of all, you need to know who you are before ever the prospects of a relationship even shows up. And when I say this, it's not for you to start creating highfalutin. It's not for you to start creating impossible ideas. It's just for you to require sensible and high standards. So that when something or someone shows up that is beneath those standards, your antenna goes up and you're like, no, this is not working. So what this means is that you already know why this will not work. It's not for you to just create things for other people to meet. You have to be able to also meet those things yourself. Because whatever you're going to require of someone else, you have to be able to also present that to someone else. So let it be sensible. Figure out the real reason why this is a deal breaker. Make it make sense. And so who you are before you ever even start a relationship determines what plays out. Otherwise, their beauty, their good looks, their influence, or whatever it is that they're bringing in that is attractive to you is going to hold you spellbound. And then you are lost, and then you end up in the sunken place. And this is why we say that relationships are a reflection of who you are. A relationship mirrors back to you who you are. If you want to think back to all your relationships, you will see that whatever played out there is as a consequence of who you are or who you were when you created that relationship. Yeah, you may be a different person today, but you had a mindset when you got into that relationship and it continues to go the way it was going. It's all as a result of who you were at that time. If you're going to be honest enough to yourself and if you're self-aware. And here is another place where I always encourage us to own our mistakes Because if you don't own your mistake, then you won't learn from it, and tomorrow you will go on with that same mindset that got you into whatever it was that you had before. So every time that we encounter something that we're not happy with, we need to look sincerely at it and determine what role we played in that. What is it that was an oversight on our part, so that we're not doing that again tomorrow and repeating the same mistakes tomorrow. It's a constant refinement that we're going through as human beings. And it's good, because all these things help us to become a better version of ourselves. Sometimes it's not just what you're gaining from them that keeps you there. Sometimes for people who are empaths, sometimes it's their need, it's their trauma, their pain, their weakness, something that you see about them that makes you want to stay there to rescue them. Sometimes you see someone and you feel like, oh, this person is doing this because they've been traumatized. I want to show them that life can be better. And then you want to help to heal them. But you see, it doesn't matter what they're coming in with. It doesn't matter. Nothing should make us forget who we are and what our values are. Don't get busy trying to care for someone, trying to help them out of something. And then because of that, you allow them to drag you down. Nothing should get you lost. You have to define what they're bringing into your life. What is their behavior towards you? Whether they have trauma, what is their behavior towards you? And then you handle it. Are they working with you on this relationship, or are you just the one who's carrying the weight of it all? And I am not saying that you throw people away, because people need our help. But the thing is, if you're trying to save someone who is drowning, you don't have to go down under with them. Now both of you will drown. Whether they're coming with something that is traumatic for you to help with, or whether they're coming with something that is favorable for you to gain from, what matters is, first and foremost, are they displaying that they're here to work for both of you? And once they're not doing that, absolutely, and let your yes be your yes and your no be your no. And I am not saying cut them off, because I know what my deal breakers are, and I know exactly the kind of relationship that I want to have and don't want to have. When I meet someone, whoever you are, whether it's a friendship with another girl or I'm starting a relationship with a guy, I know exactly what I don't want. And you know what? I am pretty sure this is something that everybody would wish of their own offspring, for their offspring to know themselves. Because once you know that, you won't be blown about by the winds of this world. You will know exactly where you're headed. If you want that for your offspring, then of course, that means that you know that is the right thing for even you. But I know what keeps you. What keeps you is the fear of confrontation, and also the fear that you're going to lose them. You're afraid of ending the relationship. Remember that I told you that it doesn't have to be that way. But first, I'm going to make a video explaining to you exactly why I make this video, so that you get the full picture. And after that, I'll make a video reading somebody's message to you, so that you can see how you can begin to apply these things to your own situations as well. Okay?